Humans, the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today, we need to go over Supreme Darkness. The set is officially fully released in the TCG, or sorry, the OCG. And so every card is out. We know the whole set, and I'm glad I waited on this. I almost made a video talking about how underwhelming the set felt, and that was with like 5 or 6 cards left to be revealed for the set, and they really came out with some really strong cards down the stretch. To really help bolster part of the set. And I really think it needed it. I really think the set was going to be a really poor set without those cards, but we'll get to that as we go. So we're going to analyze all the important things that I think matter in this set as if you are a somewhat competitive player, because that's how that's the lens that I view products through on as far as new cards, on like how much they impact the current status of the metagame, and then we'll have an overall grade on the set at the very end, at least my opinion, and obviously feel free to throw yours down in the comments as well. So let's get started. You guys know I like to break up my my sets into different categories. So those 5 categories we have here are the brand new archetypes, the fun support, stuff that's still fun for some players, but I really don't think is on like that next tier of like competitive, archetypes. It's just not really doing anything there. You have the solid support. This is support for archetypes that already exist that is on that level that like actually is going to see some play competitively. Yeah, then you have the fun free agents, kind of the same idea of fun support, but like somewhat generic cards, but they're maybe not next level, relevant competitively. And then you have the big boy free agents. These will be your hand traps, your generic cards for archetypes that actually will see some competitive play and tend to be chase cards in these sets as well. So let's get through. We got 30 different parts of this set that I think are worth noting, at least for this tier list. Let's jump through them. I'm not going to spend too much time on any one thing, but we'll steady as she goes. So, all right, first and foremost, new archetypes. We've got Argo Star. This archetype's poop. It's not there yet. The first wave is really terrible. I see the idea of it, but unless they get more, like next wave's like really, really strong, or maybe it combines with the Odeon stuff being maybe trap monster support in February next year, I really don't see this archetype doing much competitively. Materiactor, this is a pretty interesting archetype. It helps rank 3 decks, which is kind of cool. It's a cool engine. I don't know if it's going to be there, but like there's a world it's played in a deck like Goblin Biker or some rank 3 base deck, but that's really all I see for them just yet. And then the new archetype, this is like a Halloween based archetype. It's a gimmicky archetype. It's not really an archetype with a win condition or anything, so for me this one's almost negligible, but they are new. So Materiactor's the only one with really any potential right now. Argo Star needs a huge wave, and then this archetype they'll never make competitive, so I'm not even worried about it, but it doesn't really help the set in the way that we're grading it today. All right, on to support. All right, we're going to divvy these up as we go. Arcana Force. This to me falls under fun support. It's good for Arcana Force, but I still don't think it's good enough to be good. I think we'll see some FTK stuff out of this, but I don't think it would be consistent enough or durable enough through hand traps and stuff to actually be good enough competitively. Heroes are heroes. Everybody's always looking, not everybody, but a lot of players are always looking for excuses to play heroes again. Another wave of decent cards for heroes. I think we'll see some players be topping regionals with this deck. Not Crystal Wing. This is Speedroid. They get like 5 new cards here. They're decent. I don't know if it's enough to overcome losing Barone in the past, which was a huge part of the deck before. But they're interesting. They topped regionals at the beginning of this year. Maybe they'll do it again. White Force. White Force is at like the top of, and I'm not even really classifying these in order, but White Force could be a legit player after Supreme Darkness drops. Almost this card alone, connecting the Sinful Spoils / Azamina engine into the White Force engine pretty cleanly, is honestly really huge for them. So I think this card almost on its own is going to take White Force to the next level. That they haven't been yet. They've definitely been on like that outskirts rogue level. They could legitimately climb from there. So it's a really nice wave. There's also a new quick play spell and a new trap that are also interesting there. Sharks, I don't think this card is like amazing for Sharks. I think it's a decent card. I think it might be a playable one of in the deck at least. I don't think it's really taking them to a new tier, but Sharks are already, I think, like a decent deck. So other than dealing with Mulcharmies, I actually think that deck's pretty good. Okay, new Metal Morph support. I really don't think this new support really does that much for them. This new monster, it's fun that it's a new retrain of Flame Swordsman. But for me, it's not good enough. So I think it's fun. Even if you see a deck that is playing any sort of Metalmorph cards, I don't think these cards factor into those decks. So for me, it's fun support. Primite. I'm going to loosely put Primite in solid. Don't feel great about it, but listen, they get a new normal summon, and they get a new trap. I think they're okay. They're not the exact kind of cards I was hoping for to take Primite to the next level. They are interesting, though. They could end up seeing play in some deck that is messing around with the Primite cards, but nothing too crazy. For me, they're just okay. I still think Primite's going to see some play in some other decks. Maybe these cards find their way in. You know what? I was unimpressed with these cards. I'm going to put them in fun. I'm going to bump them down, unfortunately, because I really like the Primite engine. I wish they expanded on it a little more than what they did, but we'll take it for now, I guess, and hopefully they keep giving them new cards. Atlanteans get new cards too. A potentially playable trap that draws them cards on the opponent's turn, the new Exceed, and the new monster that helps them go second. I think there's some stuff here, especially on top of the cards they got in the set prior. I think Atlantean's shaping up to be a pretty okay deck. It's still probably going to struggle overall going second, but these tools help, so we'll see. Gladiator Beasts, I'm going to loosely put them at the bottom of solid support. I don't think they're going to be like a super high competitive juggernaut or anything, but I think we'll see this deck top some regionals. I think the deck has enough engine push now, potentially, to just be a decent combo deck, They're not playing in the game plan that they used to, but they might just still be an okay deck aside from that. So I'm going to put them loosely at the bottom of solid support. Kind of same idea with Cristrons. I think they're cool. They were totally unplayable before, but the new cards are good. Up and down, looking at all of their 5 new cards, all 5 of them read pretty strong. So I do think they're playable. I think we'll see some people mess around with them, and I think they're decent. Tenny is definitely solid here. Tenny's definitely on the higher scale here. I'll actually put Sharks above that, and Atlanteans probably above both, something like that. Anyway, so for the new Tenny cards, this is obviously pertaining to Sword Soul Tenny. All 3 cards, again, really strong, kind of similar to Crystron. You read up and down those 3 cards, they are really high-quality cards. Now, is it enough to take a pretty fair deck like Sword Soul to the next tier? I don't know. I think there'll be a better Rogue deck. I don't know if they'll be all the way up in like tier 2 or anything, but it is still solid stuff, and I do think we will see them top some more regionals going forward. Okay, that guy doesn't apply. Hold on, do we have any other archetypal stuff I missed? Okay, Fiendsmith, technically, I guess I have to put it... Actually, you know what? I'm going to put Fiendsmith low-key in fun support, because I do think the new cards for Fiendsmith are like not really going to see play in the Fiendsmith engine. In fact, I think there's a higher chance decks play them as like anti-Fiendsmith cards. Like they get a new fusion, but he's almost more of a super poly target than he is like an actual summonable target by the Fiendsmith cards. So I actually think this could hurt Fiendsmith more than help them overall. I think a lot of decks that play Fiendsmith will opt not to play these, but potentially a deck that's looking at super poly will. And that's kind of funny to me. So I'm going to put in more fun support because it's not actually making Fiendsmith better. But keep that in mind if you're a Rogue player. Is there anything else I missed? I guess Goblin Bikers. I'm going to put this also in fun support. I think Goblin Bikers can top a regional. Okay, fine. I don't know. Whatever. We'll just put it at the very end of solid support, I guess. But it's really not doing much for me. So as a new card, it's one new rank 6, which is not what I wanted. I want the deck to be rank 3 based. In fact, literally holding a hand trap and just guarantee negating them from making rank 6s can, or at least or changing their levels with the continuous spell is like, it hurts so bad. It hurts so bad. It leaves them in really awkward positions. So I don't know. The deck just feels awkward to me. The fact that they were all rank 3 based and then they got one random 6 that feels like a necessary engine piece. But that's a discussion for another day. So for me, just in the solid tier, nothing crazy. All right, into the free agent part of the set. This guy, he's a weak level 10 support extender. He's supposed to be there for like Ryuge or Apodracosis. It's fine. It's not a great card. A new reptile card, kind of geared towards going second. I don't think it's crazy though. Nialis. Nialis is in here in the free agent tier. Definitely in the big boy free agent because it is a Molcharmy. It is the worst of the 3 Molcharmies, I think. But it's going to have its matchups where it's really good. So I still think it's a card to definitely look at in the big boy tier. I'm also going to put Template Skipper here. Cool card. It's just a good Cybers extender, but really good when you apply it directly to Malice. which could be important. Malice is looking like the second best deck in the OCG. This card seems really crazy for them. Snake Eye Damn Dragon, also a really cool card. I love that this card applies to any deck that puts spells and or monsters in the spell and trap zone. So not just does this help Snake Eye, but it also helps Centurion potentially, Magistus, Crystal Beast, any of those decks that put monsters in the spell and trap zone. This card's pretty powerful for them. So I actually like this card quite a bit. Saint Azamina, this is a really interesting card as well. Technically, you could put this in like Azamina support tier, but I'm going to look at it more of a generic card because I don't think it's going to be quite as worth to play in Azamina. But again, it's a super play target. I believe this card takes any fusion and any synchro that are level 5 or higher, I think, but that's going to be most end board pieces of those types anyway. So I actually like this quite a bit for that, right? Like Super Poly may have just gotten a significant bump in this set just because of 2 new cards that maybe make it apply to a lot of the new matchups in the game. This girl, she searches monsters with coin flip effects. It's basically direct Arcana Force support, but I don't think it's out of this world. New synchro for Blue Eyes, basically. It's a level 9 synchro that like removes back row when it's summoned based on how many normal monsters you have in grave. So it's basically Blue Eye support, but it doesn't blow me away. I don't even know if it'll find its way into the deck. The new rank 4, really interesting card for Ryzeol specifically. That's why it probably ends up in big boy for me, as I think they could find room for it in their deck. Gives them the ability to like revive an Exceed from grave and give it a material, which is quite strong follow-up, or even potentially turn 1 combos later in the turn, like reviving something and getting a material back on it. Could be kind of wild, but we'll see. Abawakun, or however this is pronounced. Really cool Link 4. I do think this card could see play in obviously all the Fiend decks that are out and about, but even decks that aren't messing with Fiends, like this card's still really easy to climb up into by just like using a generic Nightmare monster to climb up into this. So this card's pretty cool. Read it if you're interested in that. This card actually could do a good job at helping decks play around Nib a little bit better. Yeah, could be an interesting card going forward. New Link 1 Earth monster, or not Earth, Machine. Good for a handful of decks. I'm actually going to make a video soon about this card and all the decks that it helps, but definitely helps a lot of machine decks with fluidity and how they do plays, and also searching the Floodgate for Clockwork Knight. It's really strong. This card's really cool. New quick play spell. I did a whole video on this yesterday, so check this out if you're interested. Check that video out if you're interested in this card. It basically lets you search and or tutor any level 10 monster in the game out, which has some really cool applications. When you go into the nitty-gritty, there's only really a handful of decks that have level 10 targets that make this card worth it, but the ones that are really interesting. So this is definitely a card to look into going forward. New zombie field spell. I'm still going to put this in big boy because I do think this could be a really cool card. Has some really cool Eldritch synergy. It Foolish Burials any level 5 or higher zombie. That's just really good for zombies in general and into the future. Just getting high level zombies in grave is really good. Eldritch, Ballardrock, stuff like that. But also, even right now has some applications. Maybe zombie could be playable again. We'll see. But that's really cool. Low-key, Earth Machine and Eldritch, or zombie decks in general, got some nice buffs here. Like, this card searches and just tutors out, gets you a discard for Eldritch and big Earth Machine level 10s, which we know they play. And this card helps zombies, and the new Link 1 Machine also helps Earth Machine. Like, low-key, Earth Machine and zombies, like, decent winners out of this set, like, out of nowhere. And then lastly, the 6 Samurai card. I forgot to throw this in before. This is definitely fun support. This is not good support. It's 1 trap card. It is not that strong. I'm not even sure it'll see play in 6 Samurai, and I don't even think that deck's that good to begin with. Aside from maybe the FTK version, but I don't think a trap will be played in the FTK version anyway, so not worried about that. Overall, this is where we end up with our 30 pieces of the new set. If you have to ask me and break it down in terms of new archetypes, support, and free agents, I would say the new archetypes really lackluster, right? You have one average one that's maybe like a 5 out of 10, and then 2, like this one's not good yet. Maybe with another wave it'll be good, but right now it's unplayably bad, and this archetype's gimmicky. So I'm going to give it a maybe a generous 4 out of 10. Could even be a 3 out of 10, but I'm going to be generous to give it a 4 out of 10, just because there is still potential with Argostar. They're just not there yet. If you look at support overall, these, pieces of support, not really great to me. I think they're pretty lackluster. These pieces of support, though, I do think there's some good stuff here. White Force climbing into high-level competitive play. Atlanteans already seeing some regional success, like going to even the next level. I don't know next level, but like getting better, I think is good. Tenny Sword Soul good. Hero's good. Another tool for Sharks. Like there's some cool stuff here down the line. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I think it's solid. I think the support is decent here. But like nothing out of this world. Like we've seen sets where they've literally taken like 3 or 4 different archetypes that were not high tier competitive and took them all up to like legit levels of competitive play. We don't see a ton of that here. It's like Speedroid maybe coming back, Christian, Gladiator Beast, and that's mostly it. Everything else has like kind of already been good enough. So it's not like, and those aren't even going to like high tier anyway. They're like maybe regional toppers again. So I think 6 out of 10 feels right there. And then for the free agent category, obviously these are like the more fun ones. They're not like super important. But as for this lineup here, going down the line, and this is what I talked about at the beginning of the video. A week ago, when I was looking at this set, I was like, this set looks really underwhelming. I might make a video saying, is this set like going to be the worst set in years? And then they came down the pipeline, and literally in the last week, we got like the Link 4, the Link 1, this quick play spell, the Zombie Field spell, Nialis, and I think the rest of these maybe were revealed before that, but if these were the only free agents in the set, like those are literally maybe the 5 most important free agent cards in the set, or at least coolest ones, maybe the Damn Dragons up there, but still, like some of like literally the chase cards in the set most likely, or like didn't get revealed until the last week, and it really helped because I thought the set, I was like the support's okay, the new archetypes are bad, so you need to be good in some category, and luckily they came through. So I think this is closer to a 7, maybe even an 8. We'll call it a 7 for now. You know what? 8's... I'm going to refrain from saying 8 because, like, there is no game warping Mulcharmy. We have the one Mulcharmy, but like I said, it's like the worst of the 3. There's no Dominus. There's no new Dominus trap that's like, hand trap. That's like a crazy new generic hand trap. So there's nothing on that level. So that's why I can't get it over a 7, I think. But I still think 7's really solid for this grouping of cards here and this part of the set. So overall for me, these average out to about a 6 out of 10, right? It'd round up to about a 6 out of 10, which is honestly nice because I thought this set was about to be like an actual 4 out of 10. Take out these 5 cards in the free agent tier, and literally, like, even that category is probably like a 4 out of 10. Like, and we're looking at like less than a 5 out of 10 set overall. But I think we landed in an okay spot. I think the set's okay. I think there's some cool stuff. I don't think it's going to absolutely warp the format. Luckily, we're going to get one ban list before this set comes to the TCG, and we'll be close to another, too, probably by the time that happens. And I think we'll be okay from that point forward. So, still somewhat excited for the set. I still have some things that I'm looking to pick up here. There's some cool stuff, definitely, that I want to mess with, and I hope you guys do, too. So, let me know 2 things on your guys' part. I want to know, 1, what's your rank out of 10? Like, what do you give this set? I'm close to a 6 out of 10. And 2, what are you most excited for from the set? I would say a couple things to support. Here, the new Shark card, the new Sword Soul cards, and then I think like this lineup of like 4 cards right here, and even like the new Skipper, the Damn Dragon, like those are probably things I'm most excited about from the set. But let me know your opinion on that stuff down below. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy full, like all-encompassing like set review videos like this one, subscribe to the channel down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.